Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're talking about Uno. Okay, so everybody knows Uno, right? It's like this classic card game that pretty much everyone played when they were younger. It was pretty much just Monopoly and Uno, and you kind of just switch between them. When you get bored of 8 hours of Monopoly, you go to Uno, right? Some of us still play it now, but, to play it, you need to have friends. And I don't know, now I just don't have any friends. I'm stuck with online people all the time, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but, is what it is. So pretty much Uno has like an official account on Twitter, and somebody was wondering like if a certain rule was actually a thing. Like pretty much, you know how when you get to the last card in a game of Uno, you have to say like Uno before you place it down, or it means you have to pick up 2 cards. That's like an untold rule. Some people play with that, but to make it like more interesting, but some other people think it's pretty dumb. It's honestly just a matter of opinion, and I think there's no real official rule. It just kind of depends on your particular friend group. Even in games like Monopoly, you'll just kind of make up rules like, oh, I'll just give everybody 500 from the bank because, the game's getting boring, You kind of like to speed things up and spice some rules up because, playing the exact same format every time just kind of gets boring. But pretty much the official Uno account replied to that tweet and clarified that the rule is not actually a thing. But they just said that it wasn't a thing. They didn't say like, oh, you can't play it that way. They were very mild about it. They're just like, yeah, it's not in the official rules, but it's a common rule in like households. But Twitter didn't like this because I think majority of people play with this saying Uno before the last card rule, and Twitter just started dunking on them. And honestly, this one's not kind of like malicious. It was just kind of funny, to be honest. But they're like, you make the game, not the rules, which is like, I think they make the rules, okay? Alright, before we start, make sure you're subscribed, dude. YouTube has been unsubbing people for some reason. It's annoying, okay? Double check if you're subbed, and, welcome aboard if you're new. Thanks for being here, and yeah, let's get this started. So Donovan Mitchell says, I think he's an NBA player. I'm sorry, I don't follow NBA or whatever, but yeah. He says, do you have to say Uno out when you play with your last card in real Uno game? Heated debate with the family right now. So 62% said yes and 38% say no. And then Uno replies saying, while calling Uno out when you play your last card is a popular house rule, it is not required. Uno has spoken. So first off, Uno is actually tagged in this tweet, right? So obviously they're gonna respond and they're gonna try to clarify something. I don't really see a problem here. They're just kind of telling the person the rules, and I understand the majority of people like the Uno rule, but they're not saying definitively like, oh, you can't do that. It's like not a problem. Also, never in my entire life have I heard the phrase Uno out. Does everybody say Uno out? Because for me, it was just like Uno, right? Like, before your last card, you say Uno, and then the other person says caught, or they just say, I caught you, and, pick up 2 cards or whatever. But then, what is this? Uno out? Is that like saying Uno, okay, I'm going out, the game's over, bye-bye? Also, I feel like saying that is way harder. You're just adding an entire different word. I feel like I would forget that phrase because I'm genuinely that stupid. I can remember Uno, that's the name of the game, but out, nah, I'm done. Also, I forgot to tell you guys, but Twitter kind of introduced a new feature where they've kind of hired somebody to actually write the trending tags. So there's somebody actually writing each and every single tag and giving it like a proper description, which does help. I don't know if they're biased or whatever. I mean, they probably are, but whatever is what it is, right? I mean, there's nothing here to be biased about, so there's really no problem. Uno weighs into a heated debate among the Donovan Mitchell household, declaring that calling Uno out when playing your last card is not actually required. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick poll, not on YouTube because I hate the little top end card, but it's gonna be on Twitter. I'll link it in the pinned comment. Do you say Uno out when you get to your last card, or do you just say Uno? I feel like most people say Uno because, I don't know, man, that had a lot of likes, though. I don't know, man. Maybe I was just brought up saying Uno, I really don't know. Or do you not say anything, right? So Uno out, Uno, or not say anything. Now, I don't want to offend anyone, but personally, okay, I just feel like not saying anything is the most logical, but also, I feel like it makes it less fun, okay? Because if somebody's about to win the game of Uno, and there's no way you can win because you're so behind, and then he keeps forgetting to say the words. It just becomes super funny because you can turn around a game like that, right? That's kind of like the beauty of a lot of games, is being able to turn situations around in the most dire of circumstances, right? It's like if you're losing in a Monopoly and you manage to like avoid hotels 8 rounds in a row. It's just like, dang, how did I win that, right? Maybe even compare it to League of Legends, dude. Like, all hope is lost. Your team is down 10 kills. The enemy is about to get Baron, which is like this super buff monster that buffs your entire team's stats and makes you all powerful. And then somebody in the opposing team teleports in, steals the buff, and goes on to win the game. It's like, that's the type of stuff that people love seeing, right? These crazy turnaround things. And I can't believe I'm talking about Uno in the same situation, but you get the point, right? But yeah, personally, I'm a fan of the Uno rule, not the Uno out. That's just kind of weird. But I do agree that a lot of people kind of use the Uno rule to kind of find this loophole, right? Because they're kind of bad at the game. So I remember I had this friend, right? He made like a rule where you have to say Uno before the other person, like any other player, says caught. So he would just scream caught constantly, even if the person's at like 2 cards, but at the slight chance that they may have placed another card, essentially making it impossible for anyone to win the game except him, because he would just scream it so loud that it would always appear that he said it first. And I was just like, if you say that one more time, I will actually rip this card in half. So yeah, there's pretty much drawbacks to every version of the game, but you know, there's some that are more fun than others. So this was like the most popular opinion on Twitter. We keep telling Uno that they make the cards but not the rules. First off, I think they do make the official rules. I mean, when you buy the Uno cards, you get like a rule set with it, so I'm pretty sure they make the rules, but yeah, you're free to play it however you want. It's really not like Uno's trying to sap away your fun, like, you can never play it in this way ever. They're just saying that these are the official rules. You do what you want. Now, there's actually another controversial rule in Uno. It's called stacking, right? Pretty much in Uno, there are certain cards which make you draw more cards. There's like a +2 card and a +4 card. So, usually, in like official Uno, when somebody plays a +2 card, the opponent's turn is skipped, and you draw 2 cards, and, you know, they just go again. So, it's pretty much just destroys the other person, and they can't fight back in any way. It's just ruthless and boring, and you're just kind of stuck in this chain of sadness, but, you know, in fancy Uno, right, modern Uno, when people realized that way is super boring and vanilla, they started introducing stacking. Now, when somebody plays a +2 card, you can counter it with their own +2, making them draw 4, and if they have another +2 as well, you draw 6. And if you're playing with like 6 people, you can see how one person is getting absolutely demolished at the end of the chain, and that has got to be the most fun thing in Uno, just not knowing if the other person has a +2, and whether you're gonna draw 20 cards or the other person's gonna draw 22 cards. So you can even like let +4 cards stack to make it even more spicier. That's at least how I used to play back in the day, you know, in my prime when I wasn't 80 years old. But yeah, Twitter has been debating this as well, and I'm surprised to see so many people are against stacking, and it's like, are you grandmas, dude? Come on. I don't know, man. I just think it's pretty boring without it. Like, Uno might not diss you because, you know, they're a fancy company and they have to mind their words, but I will, you know? It's boring. Anyways, let's just see what this guy says about the whole ordeal.
So, Donovan Spider Mitchell asked the question, do you have to yell Uno out when it's the last card in your hand? Okay, yes or no? Now, first of all, the answer is yes, okay? It's just, you can't get out the game without saying Uno out. If you don't say it, you know, then you got to pick up. You know what I'm saying? Pick up 2, and I got a chance to win. You got to be paying attention. But then Uno come and say, I know there's a lot of house rules, but technically you don't have to do that. Why don't y'all hush and let us play our game? Okay? Uno ain't even y'all's no more. Y'all created the cards. Y'all don't know the rules. Okay? You just hush. Talking about house rules. House rules is the rules. We take the little rules, Pat, we throw that out of there. Okay? It's out of there, man. The rules, Pat. You got to say Uno. Okay, and while we're on the subject, you can't stack. I'm sick of it. Nah, it got to be said. You can't stack. If I put down a draw 2, you pick up 2. No, I got to draw 2, then you put it down 2, and they got to draw 4, and then they got to draw 6. No. I pay draw 2, you pick up 2, and hush. No, I play draw 4, you pick up draw 1. No, hush. And you can go out on a draw 4 all a while. Y'all be like, you got to go out on the color. You ain't got to do nothing. This is my game now. Everybody else, hush. You play by my rules, you don't know how to play. And that includes you, Uno. Y'all don't know how to play your own game. Just give it here and hush on the doggone Thanksgiving Eve.
Okay, listen, dude, the Uno thing, sure. But no stacking, excuse me? The 1940s are calling, they want their rules back. Listen, this may be controversial, but I'm just saying it, okay? I've been brought up a certain way to not shy away from the excitement of life, okay? Uno has gotta be played fancy. Anyways, I don't think that people should be mad at the official Uno Twitter account for just clarifying a rule. I literally don't agree with them, but I'm still defending them because it's just an objective opinion. But yeah, make sure to answer the poll in the tweet, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. You're probably already subscribed because I told you to subscribe at the start, but if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in every day, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Maybe go play a game of Uno, you know? Uno. Oh, that was pretty great. Okay, bye-bye.